Hello third grade. Today for language arts we're going to be working on greetings and closings of letters. So letters are something that you might write like a thank you card, and the greetings is going to be at the beginning and the closing is going to be the ending of the letter. So a letter always starts with a greeting and ends with a closing. For each one, we're always going to capitalize the first word. So our greeting is always capitalized, the first word, and our closing, the first word, is always capitalized. And don't forget, we also capitalize our proper nouns, which are going to be the names of people of whom we are writing to. So a greeting example would be, Dear Uncle David, and then it follows by a comma. So the dear is my greeting, so that is capitalized, and then Uncle David is my proper noun. That is the name of my uncle. And so as we can see, the comma comes right afterwards. So it goes, Dear Uncle David, after the person we have a comma. And then a closing example would be sincerely. So we see the first word is capitalized, sincerely, and then Miss Madsen. So that is the name, that's my name. So that would also, since it is a proper noun, would be capitalized as well. So capital M, capital M. And as we can see, but the comma is placed somewhat differently here. In a greeting, it's placed at the end, after the name. But in the closing, it's placed after the closing word. So sincerely, comma, Miss Madsen. So it'd be like sincerely, the comma is like a pause. Sincerely, Miss Madsen. It's from me. So the commas are in different places, but they both have commas. So let's look through an example letter. So Dear Aunt Sue. So I have Dear Aunt Sue. That's my greeting. And I see I have a comma at the end, and Aunt Sue is both capitalized. That is my proper noun. It says, I'm glad you could come to my party, and thank you for the birthday gift. So this is our message. And then down here is our closing. So remember, for our greeting, it has dear, so that's our greeting word, who we're talking to, our proper noun, and then the comma. But when we do our closing, with love, see the first word is capitalized, with love, comma, Ashley. So the comma here is before the name, and the first word is capitalized. Notice how love is not capitalized. It's not a proper noun, so that would be lowercase. So we're going to do some examples that we'll see for our homework today just to go over. So here it says, which greeting is correct for a letter? So this is a greeting, which means it's at the beginning. The greeting is the first word. So I know the comma comes after the name. So Dear Mr. Shaw or Dear Mr. Shaw. Remember, even with our titles, those are considered proper nouns too when they're used with the name, so they will be capitalized as well. We learned that a few weeks ago. So this one would be correct because Mr. should be capitalized as well because Mr. Shaw, it's the proper noun, the name of a person. So this would be our correct greeting. So now it's saying which is the correct closing. So remember, the closing, the first word is always capitalized. So right here I have love Caleb, and love, the L in love is capitalized. And then we have our comma before the name. So it's love, pause, Caleb. So here, our closing isn't capitalized, so that would not be correct. It would be this one because the first word has to be capitalized as well. And again, which closing is correct for a letter? So this is again the closing, which means it's at the end of our letter. Your nephew, Steve. So remember, the comma is right before the name, right after the closing phrase. So wouldn't it be your, pause, nephew, Steve? That wouldn't make sense. It would be your nephew, that's my closing phrase, comma, Steve. And we see the Y in your is capitalized and the S in Steve is capitalized. So this would be our correct closing. So remember, look at the comma placements and make sure the first word is capitalized of a closing and greeting, and also the proper nouns, the names of people. So let's do a few more here. We'll pick two of these. So we'll do this one and we'll do this one. So which closing is correct for a letter? So remember, the closing is at the end. Your student, Justin, is what it reads. So first we need to make sure the first word is capitalized. Your. So your is all capitalized, so it could be any of them. But remember, after our closing phrase, your student, there should be a comma. So let's see, that's a period, no, but these two have commas. Okay, perfect. We have to make sure our proper nouns are capitalized. So Justin is the name of someone, that's a proper noun, so it'd have to be capitalized. Both of them have Justin capitalized, but here, this one has student capitalized. But that should not be capitalized because they're just saying your student. Right there, they're not talking about a specific one, so that could be lowercase. So it would be right here, your student, comma, which student? Justin is our proper noun. So this would be our correct closing. And let's do this one as well. See you soon, Samuel. So we always know the first word has to be capitalized, so the S and C. So automatically, the first two are not good choices because the S is not capitalized. But here, we have the S capitalized in C. So we know that the comma comes before the name of who is written and after the closing phrase. So see you soon is the closing phrase. So we know the comma comes after that. So see you soon, comma, Samuel. And Samuel is a proper noun. It's the name of someone. So that would be correct, but let's double check our last choice. Here, there's no comma after see you soon, so that would not be the correct closing. This one, we have the comma and the capitalization. So remember, as we're going through it, at the greeting, it's the first letter is capitalized and the proper noun, and there's a comma after the name. But with the closing, it's the closing phrase with love and the first letter capitalized, comma, and then the name underneath. So make sure to take your time and really read. Are you working with a closing or a greeting? All right, have fun. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, third grade.